euthanasia, also referred to as doctor-assisted suicide, is defined as a mercy death, the act of putting to death painlessly or allowing to die with withholding extreme medical measures. A person suffering from an incurable and or painful disease or condition. My job is to inform you on the serious considerations of doctor-assisted suicide, inevitably drawing from the types of doctor-assisted suicide, the history. Next I'll go over the legal and ethical viewpoints, and then finally discuss the patient's right to die. When you hear the phrase doctor-assisted suicide, I'm sure many of you are wondering what types there are and how long it takes for any of these procedures to actually work. One of the first known forms of doctor-assisted suicide is through an euthanasia device, which is a machine engineered to allow an individual to die quickly or with minimal pain. Second is a device popularly known for being used by Dr. Jack Morkian, who assisted with over 130 suicides and was sent to 8 years in prison. His device is actually called the death machine. This is it right here. It used 3 different types of substances that each bottle had a syringe and connected to a single IV line into the patient's arm. The first bottle contained an ordinary saline salt water. The second was a sleep-inducing sodium. And the third was a lethal mixture which immediately stopped the heart. And you can see the 3 right here. No, that's him. That's his machine. Also, another way to assist was have the doctor stop treatment on a terminally ill patient and to let nature take its course. Now that we've discussed the types of doctor-assisted suicide, I'd like to talk about the ethical, religion, and law, and how that comes into play. Many religions have had different views on euthanasia. Many are also in a split decision, but however, I'd like to overview the Catholic perspective, just thrown out there. The Declaration on Euthanasia is the Roman Catholic Church's official document on the type of euthanasia, a statement that was issued as by the Sacred Congregation of the Doctrine of Faith in 1980. Catholic teaching condemns euthanasia as a crime against life. The teaching of Catholic Church on euthanasia rests on several core principles of the Catholic ethics, including the sanctity of human life, the dignity of a person, how it interferes with human rights, and is proportional in remedies, the unavoidable of death, and the importance of charity. Ethics has always played a big factor on the topic of assisted suicide. When it comes to ethics, many feel that euthanasia weakens a society's respect for sacred life. Perhaps accepting euthanasia affects that some lives, those of disabled or sick, would feel less that they would feel worthless. And voluntary euthanasia is the start of a slippery slope that will lead inevitably into involuntary euthanasia and killing people who are thought undesirable. Assisted suicide may not be in a person's best interest, or also that euthanasia could affect people's right and not just the patient's. During the 20th century, efforts to change government policies on euthanasia have met limited success and are only legal in a few countries and in the world. As of 2009, some forms of active euthanasia are legal in Belgium, the Netherlands, Switzerland, and Thailand. Here in the United States, Oregon, Washington, and Montana are the only 3 states to have assisted suicide legal. You have to be a resident of these states, and in Montana, you have to go through a court ruling process to actually have them allow you, for them to grant you the wish to have doctor-assisted suicide. So having overlooked the types of doctor-assisted suicide as well as the legal and ethical views, I would like to discuss the patient's right to die. Many of these patients feel that it's their right. They want to go out with their dignity still, and that why do they want to have a life that to keep going if they're terminally ill, if there's nothing else that can be done for them, and if they can't even participate or do any normal activities that we do today. And a lot of them feel as well as they should have the option, as well as patients question the right to tell them. The patients question the doctors and society's question as to why they feel that they should still be alive. But that's their decision. It's their life. Why are you going to interfere with my life and my decisions that I want to have? So I hope that I was able to inform you all on the types of doctor-assisted suicide, the legal, ethical, and religious views, and as well as the patient's right to die. Thank you.